how many wars they've had, but they worked together because they understood that you have to get this out. But I cannot believe with all the education that we have, that we still get that old okey doke. Let's hurry and get the money. All that glitters is not always gold. And we still believe it. So recommendations, we need to, one, stop the process, slow down this process. And we always say we want appropriate, sustainable development. And this is the first, after a year and a half of meetings with PACT, and I'm on the advisory board, this is the first one that people are coming together to hear different opportunities to listen to other people's ideas. We have another one, there's some flyers here at the neighborhood house. People say, oh, why are you having 2 meetings? Because people who are going to come on Saturday can't make it today. The more meetings, the more discussion. And I'm sure there's a document that's going to be produced from this. We're going to produce one also, so that we can keep having discussion and not have a discussion over here and one over here. That we need to have general meetings like this that people can come out and talk about it. But we don't get that, because everyone is supposed to be, happy that we are coming to do something for you. Like I said, we own everything. You're not coming to do anything for us. You need to be doing it with us. We are the people. And that's the misnomer that we are constantly being hit with this PACT. And it bothers me to no end of the arrogance of the PACT. When I first got on the advisory, there was the oversight and it was the advisory. The oversight was the mayor, Hillman, Gee. And that was, well, how come you have someone from the community on that oversight? Well, we are the decision makers because we bring in, this is what the mayor and those individuals stated, we're bringing the money. My question to them was, well, is it your bank account or is it tax dollars? That means it's our money that you are managing. And you're supposed to manage in our best interest. So then what did they do? As things start to go forward, they raise themselves to another level. Now you have decision makers, oversight, then us, and the advisory committee is further being pushed further down. And what irritates me, and I'm finishing now, the recommendation is very simple. We need to stop what I said. But what irritates me is that a lot of us, whether you have formal education or not, the issue here is a lot of people suffered for us to have education. I hate when people pretend that I'm dumb and I'm stupid because I look like them. And that needs to stop, from the politics, from the top to the bottom. Whether you have a degree or not, you are educated, the fact that you're here and can read, write, and understand. That's where
Thank you very much, and I know that.
Across the street on Hildreth Avenue for 30 years, so I personally have witnessed the disintegration of the entire area. I'm retired, living on disability, and when I look around where I live, I'm all alone. There's nobody left. Empty houses, the place is decimated, there's nothing left. What's going to happen to people like me who have a home that they've cared for their entire life, and now all of a sudden, with all this, some people might even refer to it as gentrification. There's a change going on that really doesn't have a lot to do with us, because when you look at the property now, it's not even really owned by us anymore. So just don't forget about people like me. I can't be the only one left. Even though I don't see neighbors for 4 blocks that way and 4 blocks that way and totally around, there still has to be a few people like me who have worked their whole lives to have a home, and now there's nothing left. Don't forget about people like me.
Before you go up, can we take somebody who hasn't already spoken, and then we'll allow those who have already spoken to come back. I do want to, as the next person comes forward, acknowledge Councilman Herschel Craig, who has joined us, and former State Senator Ray Miller, who has joined us. Next speaker, Councilwoman Tyson.
Thank you, Senator Tavares, and I also want to thank the Ray Miller Institute for Leadership, the Michigan Institute for sponsoring us and the alumni. I happen to be on the PACT committee, and I just want to say that we just need to continue to make sure that there are opportunities already for individuals to participate and to dialogue with those committees. And this is a great opportunity that you've had tonight to be able to, for people to come and to share their issues and concerns. You can still share those issues and concerns with the PACT committee. You can also share your issues and concerns with, Columbus City Council. We're part of the city. I sit on that committee. This doesn't have to be the only forum to share your concerns about the PACT or anything that's going on in the community. Our doors are always open. We're willing to listen to you because we are a part of this community. You are a part of this community. We know that you care about this community and we want to hear from you. So don't let this be the only opportunity to share your issues and concerns. And believe me, many of the issues and concerns that you have, we are certainly raising them with the PACT. And so I'm so glad that this tape will be given to, Don Tyler Lee, who chairs the PACT. And we'll certainly take into consideration everything that's been communicated tonight. But it's important to participate in this. It's important to go over and to speak with Don. It's important to share your issues with the community. And I was glad to be here tonight to listen. And I will certainly be taking the issues and concerns that we've heard this evening back to the PACT, but also to the city. The one comment that I want to share, I know that Mr. Harrison, he mentioned that his daughter worked for CMHA, and now that she's no longer employed there. That is an issue that came, I have to know about this. It's not about what CMHA did. The government took contracts away from CMHA and moved the contracts to a for-profit entity to manage some of CMHA.
Still federal dollars.
But I'm saying that's what's
Still federal dollars.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not federal dollars. I'm saying that's what happened. And so I know that's what happened. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't think that's what happened. But anyway, again, I just wanted to make sure I was here to hear from you. And certainly we're going to be focusing also on, from us, we understand the jobs. We're talking about that constantly. Workforce development is a major issue for me personally. So I'm here to listen. And any issues and concerns that you can certainly have, continue with the PACT or with anything else that's going on in the city. My door is always open, as well as the other council members' doors are open, and we certainly want to hear from you. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Can I ask Councilwoman Tyson a question? I appreciate that your door is always open. You mentioned that the committees also, this community can communicate directly with them. How? How do we do that with the committees?
Directly with the committees of PACT?
Yes, how do we do that?
Well, each of the committees have a committee chair, and so I would recommend to find, well, we have a website, and on the website, it should state when those committees are meeting, as well as you can contact Don Tyler Lee and provide, and ask her when the committee is going to meet. If you don't have a computer or website, you don't have a computer, to call Don. She's located right over here on Taylor Avenue, right next to the hospital in this gray and red house. I don't have her information with me, but you can certainly contact Don and find out when those committees are meeting and go and share your ideas. And also you can go and talk to Don personally and share your issues and concerns. So,
can I make a recommendation? And your point, Dr. Nicholson, is one that has always frustrated me. Government does a very poor job of advertising when meetings take place and sharing information in a timely manner. So I would recommend that the City of Columbus, CMHA, and OSU have the information on their websites and distribute it in the community that the project is being conducted in. So this would be a prime location to have committee notices. This would be a prime location. Many of the churches would be prime locations. Certainly the King Arts Complex, the Lincoln Theater, all of the major locations here within the Near East Side should have the regular committee meeting notices so that residents
No,
when and where those meetings are taking place. Not everybody has a computer at home. Many people only use their computer when they're at their office. So that would be my recommendation that all of those entities have it on their website, and that they distribute the meeting notices to all of the major locations, businesses, and community assets, so that the community's residents will be able to participate.
Hi, my name is Sam Agarwal. I'm an OSU alum, and I graduated in 2006. 2010. And in 2006, I was granted the Moral Scholarship, which is an affirmative action scholarship for minorities. And I remember sitting in a large hall with all the people who were awarded that scholarship. There was about 1,000 of us there. And I remember OSU telling us that, a representative from OSU telling us that a very, very small percentage of the people sitting in this room, I think it was like 10%, will actually walk out of OSU with a diploma in your hand. And that, I remember that feeling like a huge weight that was put on us. And now I'm sort of looking at it like, what is OSU doing to actually improve the living situation of minorities in the broader Columbus community? What are they doing to improve the socioeconomic factors that account for the fact that such a small percentage of minorities are actually graduating from OSU? And so, going off of that, I think about how Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement fought very hard. I mean, Dr. King lost his life fighting for reforms such as the Fair Housing Act, which was passed in 1969. That act basically says that you cannot demolish housing that is primarily built for the purpose of housing minorities, specifically African Americans, and then not have a plan for their resettlement, not have a real tangible plan for them to settle in good housing conditions. And another provision of the act is that you cannot reconcentrate people by race into pockets. So what we're seeing right now with the demolition of Poindexter Village is part of a national plan to eradicate the public housing, which has housed minorities for a very, very long time, since the Civil Rights Movement. So, I really resonate with what the gentleman that was sitting here was saying about the need for a community impact assessment that specifically analyzes like what the impact is on the African American community here, where people will be resettled after the demolition of Poindexter, and are they reconcentrating people in suburban areas that are far from public transport. And I've talked in various forums to a man named Brian Brown. He's a business management representative for CMHA, and he has told me straight to my face that he's very concerned about where people will go, because landlords in the east side are not willing to house Poindexter Village and all the other public housing residents that will be displaced within the neighborhood. So where are they going to go? That is not something that OSU has done. They have not paid attention to that fact. And OSU, CMHA keep pointing the fingers at each other. I want a straight out answer, and I want a community impact assessment that's conducted by an independent entity, and that result is shared with the entire community, with the broader Columbus community, because it's not just going to affect this one area, it's going to affect a lot of people in a lot of neighborhoods. So yeah, that's basically all. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Hasid Nagoon, and I'm a resident of the Argo Park City, so as Argo Park subdivision. And I want to first of all commend you on taking the time to come to the community, and also for your dedication at the State House. I wanted to present a question first of all, and with this development, who is the legal advisors? Do we have a legal panel that's looking over? Because she just said something that was very, very real. And in my research, I found that there is a statute that requires relocation assistance. And I don't know if these people are being served, but I rise today to speak upon the I-670 corridor, which extends 1 mile on this side to the south up to Broad Street from I-670, and also to the north up to Hudson. And what has happened is that we've found that there's people who have had their properties taken unlawfully through a scheme. And I won't go through the mechanics of the scheme right now, but it all resulted because of two developments, major projects that coincided, or collided, I should say.